About this, our top story, we are joined by Alex Maheu of Summa Strategies. Alex, good morning.
Good morning.
What a day.
What a day indeed. It's better than reality TV.
Yeah, I'd say, right? This is like at its best. Let's talk about if that testimony by Gerald Butts yesterday hurt or helped the Prime Minister and the Liberal government.
Well, if it did anything, is really muddy the waters over this whole story. So I think it did help the government a little bit, at least, or it kind of balanced the scale, if you will, right? It's become really a he said, she said story now. And it seems to me like there's a lot of a gray zone here, whether political interference was applied or not in this specific issue.
Do you think that was the tactic then by Gerald Butts to muddy that water a little bit and not make things quite so clear and concise?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he wanted to tell his side of the story. And there are three things that kind of stood out for me. One, he reiterated that Jody Wilson-Raybould's decision to weigh in or not on the SNC-Lavalin case was hers to make and hers to make alone. Mm-hmm. All he wanted to do was raise the facts that a lot of jobs were at stake. Two, the shuffle had nothing to do with the SNC-Lavalin affair. And three, he did actually take responsibility for the miscommunication that did happen between those two offices.
But the next question to that is, do Canadians believe any of that?
I think at this point, what's going to happen is Canadians are going to start to tune out because there doesn't seem to be a smoking gun here. It's really, like I said, a he said, she said type story. There might be some more testimonies that come out afterwards. I don't know if we'll see any more proof of actual political interference here or undue pressure. We'll kind of see what happens.
He says it's claimed to be that there was no inappropriate pressure put on Jody Wilson-Raybould and that it's a difference of interpretation of the conversations.
Yep.
At that level, can there be that much of a difference of interpretation? I mean, we're talking about some very serious allegations here.
Yeah, it's interesting to say. One of the points he made was that 20 meetings over the period of 6 months is not a lot of meetings on one specific issue. He reiterated that they had thousands of meetings for the NAFTA deal, for the Trans Mountain Pipeline, and so he didn't think that that was a lot of pressure on Jody Wilson-Raybould. They continue to say on the government side that this was a public policy issue and they needed to raise it with her because jobs were at stake.
We're going to hear from the Prime Minister on this exact case this morning at 7:45. What do you expect to hear from the PM?
I'd like to see a formal apology to Jody Wilson-Raybould. I don't think the Prime Minister is going to acknowledge that there was any wrongdoing here, but I think he probably owes Jody Wilson-Raybould at least an apology to say, look, I'm sorry that this kind of came out the way it is. I'm sorry for the miscommunication and the misinterpretation, and if you felt pressured, I apologize for that. That said, nothing illegal was done here. It's time to move on, and if he's good at what he's going to do, he's going to have to put a lid on this.
What comes next, though? Because this may not be done. There was a motion put forward for Jody Wilson-Raybould to come back and testify again before the Justice Committee. That got kiboshed.
It did.
By the Liberal-dominated committee. So if they don't want to hear from anybody else on this, could it be over, or what are we going to hear on Budget Day?
Yeah, well, on Budget Day is actually the day that the committee is supposed to meet behind cameras, and the members are going to discuss who they should meet with next, or who they should have come and testify regarding this issue. I suspect the opposition in question period will continue to put pressure on the Prime Minister to let Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould come and say her version of the story for a second time. She wants to clarify some of the things that Gerald Butts said yesterday, but at one point in time, they're going to have to put an end to this.